Hello FunAhead friends, and welcome back to FunAhead TV. Today we are actually digging into this engine. If you didn't see in the last episode, please go check it out. We completely removed the engine and transmission, and the transmission is sitting over here by my sweet Kawasaki X2. But engine is out, and it's time to start work on the engine. So the purpose of doing all this is to replace the timing chain guides in this engine. Unfortunately, they are starting to go bad. Specifically, I believe the VarioCam pads, which are the very small ones on the upper and lower portions of the VarioCam solenoids on either bank. This is kind of like the less spoken about killer. Basically, what could happen is if these pads were to, if the wear and material on them were to wear down enough, your timing gets too far out of phase between your intake and exhaust cams, and potentially you could skip a tooth on your timing chain sprocket, and then a very similar thing would happen as if you were to lose your IMS bearing. The unfortunate thing about this is that it's plastic. These parts are plastic, and plastics age, especially plastics that are subjected to heat and many miles and high RPM usage, which means that eventually they will break. They will inevitably break, just like in the same way that your brake pads are going to go down to almost nothing and need to be replaced. So unfortunately, it is kind of what it is. And I've known about this problem for a while. This is an issue that and I've seen evidence of this in my oil filters for every single oil change that I've done since I own this car, and I've probably done maybe 4 oil changes, and it's not a huge deal. I didn't see an uptick in wear material or at all, but it is an issue that eventually is going to manifest itself in the form of a failed engine, or at least a failed cylinder head or two. It's definitely not ideal, but it is what it is, and it can be done semi-economically, but unfortunately, almost no matter what, it's engine out. and it's like $50 worth of parts to have this thing completely replaced, to have all these bits completely replaced, but unfortunately, it's an extremely labor-intensive job. And in that, you have to take the engine out. So with that, let's jump into a time lapse of me starting to take this stuff apart. Well, to you guys, that time lapse probably looked like a whole lot of nothing, but hopefully it looked like a little bit of something. So let me explain what we did. First off, we got the dual mass flywheel clutch pressure plate combo off. I forgot to mention earlier that another reason we need to take all this off is because of actually this bolt right here, which is one of the 2 bolts that holds on the timing chain guide for bank 1. So that is another reason that needs to come off. Additionally, our new flange, which was literally just put on 2 years ago almost, is seemingly the thing that's leaking. The rear main seal is not what's leaking, so I don't know. We may have to take that back out and seal it up better somehow, because I can't really tell where it's leaking from. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Anyway, we'll probably have to take that back apart and seal it up better. Another thing we did, we took off the front plate here, the mounting plate, the bracket rather, that mounts up into the engine mounts on either side. Took that off so we had full access of the front, and then additionally we just took out the coil packs and spark plugs on both banks. Look at that. There it is. There it is. This is bank 1 of my engine. Now really quickly, just one thing to note. Before ever taking off the valve cover, you first need to ensure that your engine is in bank 1 top dead center. Now in order to do this, you have to remove the cam plug just above the oil scavenging pump located here, and then check to ensure that the camshaft notch and rotor are pointing to the outside of the engine. Now this is specific for bank 1. For bank 2, it's the opposite. It must be pointing towards the inside. Once you've ensured that, make sure that the crank location is locked into the 0T position as shown here. And the camshaft is locked using special tool 9624. So as you can see, the cam caps are only right here. And the rest of the cam caps are within the timing cover itself. As you can see, I didn't take any of these off. That's all part of the cover. They have the other half of the journals in them. And the only thing that's actually holding these cams in right now are these cam caps and this. So so you don't want to put this kind of like torsional motion on the cams, especially on these caps. That would be bad. So that's why we've got these holding these in place, just to make sure they don't get, overextended. We took the scavenging oil pump off, which is right here. That was nice and easy, 4 bolts, and it just slides out. But it's a very, very perfect fit. Like we had to kind of pull it out straight out, which is good as expected. Also, actually, before we did that, I took the it goes right up in here with a 32 millimeter socket. We took out the timing chain tensioner. As you can see, obviously this is a 5-chain engine. So these right here, this pad and then the one that's back in there that we can't see, are the ones in question. But the one that's inside is usually in here is usually the one that's the one that wears. We're here, baby. We're freaking here. Well, first, I think what I will do is we can actually take this puppy out of time, which is kind of scary, but we're retiming the engine anyway eventually. So I will take these 4 bolts off for this main drive sprocket here. So we can kind of set this aside, and then that will allow us actually to take out the timing chain guides, which are, there's one here. That's the actual tensioning guide. As you can see, that's what the tensioner pushes up on to tension this chain. And then there's just the guide up here, which we can't really see, but it's back there, I promise. But once we get this loosened, we can kind of set this sprocket down and out of the way. This is the first time I've seen this like on my own engine, and I'm kind of geeking out. This is pretty sweet. All of the fantastic experiences, the thousands of miles I've put on this car, and these are the parts that are in there spinning away, doing the hard work so I can have a freaking blast behind the driver's seat. Or blast in the driver's seat behind the steering wheel. I think that's what I was trying to say. So, looks a little different this time now. As you saw, we just took the cams out. I loosened the cam caps, the primary cam caps for the intake and exhaust. Now, it is super, super, super important that you keep these straight. So here are my cam caps. The one marked E, which you can see right here. That's an E. That's actually the intake one. Of course, that's confusing. I don't know what it means in German, but I think something in intake starts with an E. And then the A, the one marked A, that's your exhaust. They're literally a line honed for each cam.
So they need to stay in the correct order. They can't get mixed up when they go back on. That would be very bad news. Anyway, so once we got those off, then we loosened the 3 bolts that go, straight in there for VarioCam solenoid, and then the cams are free. So here we are back here in the workshop. As you can see, we've got the cams sitting here. Then under here, I have the timing chain, or the valve cover. You can see valve cover. The scavenging oil pump is sitting on the table as well. Here's the timing chain tensioner. And then here's the cap for the VarioCam solenoid. I'm just kind of, doing this to stay organized. That is a different camshaft for a completely different engine. It's not this engine. But looking at this, I don't know. I'm excited to see, what the damage is. I haven't been able to compress this yet to see exactly what the situation is with this solenoid. Maybe they're good. But I'm not sure. All right, so that is how to disassemble your cylinder heads down to at least removing the cams. I'm actually going to just do one bank at a time. So I'm going to fix this bank, put it all back together, and then on to bank 2. So we will continue when it comes to reassembling bank 1.